The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency was established in 1949, then known as the Game and Fish Commission. For over 65 years, we've been on mission to preserve, conserve, manage, protect, and enhance the fish and wildlife of Tennessee. With support of hunters and anglers, we've come a long way since 1949, and now your TWRA is working even harder to enhance your outdoor experiences. A great way to keep up with what's going on is to visit our website at tnwildlife.org or follow us on Facebook at Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, on Twitter at TN Wildlife, on Instagram at TN Wildlife Resources Agency. An even better way is to stay right here for an episode of Tennessee WildCast. Join Jason and Doug as they discuss everything outdoors, from the Mississippi River to the Great Smoky Mountains. So now it's time for Tennessee WildCast, live from Studio B at the TWRA headquarters in Nashville. Here are your hosts, Doug and Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. And my host is a little different today. We got Miss Mimi Barnes with us.
Hi, everyone.
As our co-host, and Mr. Brian Lettner.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so anyway, we're in a little different setting today. As you can see, we are outside, which is better than being in the studio sometimes.
Much better.
It is hot today, but we're going to make it through this show and have a good time while we're here. And it's a pretty special show. We're on location at Toys this year, and if you don't know what that is, it's Tennessee Outdoor Youth Summit. So Mimi and Brian are going to be teaching some classes at the summit this year, and it's at a new location at the Clyde York 4-H camp in Crossville, Tennessee. So it's a pretty cool deal. It's been going on for about 8 years now, and all the kids love to sign up and come and participate in the summer and learn a lot about the agency, learn a lot about how to get involved in the outdoors, how to participate, maybe how to become a wildlife officer or a biologist or work in the field of wildlife in the future too. So
it is a great thing. It's fun to see kids outdoors and not on their phones, and most of them are here as volunteers. They're voluntarily here.
Right.
And we appreciate that. We appreciate spending time with them.
Yeah. So we're going to be hearing from Lacey Lane here in a little while, or later in the show, and she's going to tell us about the program and what all is involved. But you guys are going to be teaching some classes, and I want to first talk with Mimi about the class you're going to be teaching, and it's all about
tracking.
Tracking, yeah.
Yeah.
And it should be a pretty interesting class. So what all is involved with the stuff you're going to be talking about?
Well,
teaching?
I've been tracking for years. As a little girl, the first track I ever saw was a beautiful raccoon track right in the middle of a sugar maple leaf, and I was hooked from that point on. I was probably 7 or 8. And I'm thrilled to come and share just basic tracking with the kids and signs. You know, our law enforcement officers often get called out about deer depredation, and if we get out there and we see 45-degree angle cuts on every stem in a garden, we know that that's not deer. They don't have any top front teeth. They're not leaving those nice crisp angles. So kids will learn some things along that line. They'll learn the common animals of Tennessee, how many toes they have. You know, many animals, their front foot looks different from their back foot, and that's for a reason. We'll talk about those things. One of the things that I really look forward to teaching them is how to tell the difference between a cat and a dog track and what a mountain lion track looks like. So we're, as an agency, often contacted with people that find tracks in their yards.
Right.
And they think, oh my goodness, I have a mountain lion. We say, send in that photograph, and what we find is it's a track of a large dog, and there's a couple really easy ways to tell the difference.
Let me pull up that slide since you're talking about that. And the folks at home can see the difference between a big cat, a cougar, or a domestic dog or a coyote.
Yes, I always say domestic dogs have really sloppy feet. We tend to see their claws, whereas the middle 2 claws of a coyote shows, but it's a nice egg-shaped track. versus that of a mountain lion, which is, you know, it's not going to be as big as most people think, firstly, but any cat track has that dip in the heel pad. And there's no dog in their right mind that would have a cat dip in their heel pad.
And that's at the top, right there at the top of the heel pad.
Yes, the top of the heel pad, and then those 3 real distinct lobes at the heel base. And those are things we look for, along with whether or not claws are present.
That's what I was going to say. I don't see claws on the cat paw there.
So I actually brought along plaster cast, and the kids casts that were taken by the agency, and the kids can kind of sort through those and say cat or dog. And I really look forward to that, because they're our future educators. They're going to go back, they're going to share that with their family, they're going to share it with their neighbors. Very fun for me. And
let's show this other slide real quick, and it's kind of a all-encompassing, shows maybe the kids will learn about all these or most of these this week.
Yeah, you know, it's important. You know, I want them to know their state mammals, the raccoon, and I want them to know what that track looks like. They can, and anybody can just spread cooking flour on their driveway, put a little dollop of peanut butter or bird food right in the center of that, and you'll be shocked at what travels by your house at night. Most people don't know that. So I want to let them know that animals, all those myths out there about animals not walking where we walk, that they're simply that, myths. That the truth is an animal is going to take the path of least resistance, and they are all around us all the time. Just because we don't see them doesn't mean they're not there.
Right.
For me, it just opens up this mysterious world of animals and their behavior and their interaction with us that we're very unaware of.
Now, you've got some examples with you right here in front of us. Show us what you got.
Yeah, so black bear aren't statewide.
This camera right over here.
Black bear aren't statewide. There's an airplane flying over us if you hear that. But
that's all right. Hold them up a little bit higher.
But
there you go.
For someone that's unfamiliar with how big a black bear foot actually is, and how
it's about as big as your head in that camera,
and how big that foot actually is, and how a bear walks. Their back feet, they walk very similarly to a human, and their claws are present. But I love the kids being able to actually see what the bottom of a bear foot looks like. We actually did pull in some live feet or some real feet. So this is just a turkey foot. Off a turkey that was harvested this past year.
It's a nice spur on that thing.
It really is.
It's a good bird.
And they get to see the texture of the bottom of that bird's foot and recognize what that does for that animal in nature, and what we often see turkey scratch sign out there, and they'll actually see the nails that the turkeys are making those signs with. And then I brought along a bunch of different skulls, a bunch of different furs. I want them to recognize the different kinds of teeth that animals have and how they're utilized. And even with hair and the color that's on an animal's fur, it's in a different sequence depending on the types of animals that we're dealing with. Many times when a homeowner calls in and they want to know what's around their home and they found fur, we can tell them, oh, this is your dog. Or we can say, hey, you have a bobcat that walked through.
Right.
Those types of things are a lot of fun for me, and hopefully fun for the kids to learn about.
One more slide that you had given me to show to the folks at home. This one here shows the gender. It says here in male and female, and maybe which way they're going. Is that what we're seeing here? Yeah,
it is so fun if you know the direction that an animal's traveling in. And anything like a white-tailed deer, elk in the state of Tennessee, coyote, red fox, gray fox, they do something that's called direct register, where their back foot falls into their front foot when they're just walking along a trail.
Okay.
And if you can determine, I like 3 to 5 feet, actual footprints. You can determine left or right side of the animal. You can actually determine the gender. And in wild animals, this doesn't work for domestic dogs. It can work to some extent for domestic cats, but it's more so for wild animals. The chest of males is slightly wider, and when that back foot falls into the front foot's going to lay slightly to the outside for a male and slightly to the inside for a female. Okay. You have to have pretty pristine tracking conditions or nice mud or sand in order to see it, but it's empowering to be able to look at a line of tracks and know if it's a male or female, and the kids will walk away with that knowledge. Very fun.
You're gonna try to set up some scenarios where they can see some real tracks and live tracks. Maybe we'll lure some animals in, and
we'll set up some bait stations.
There goes the canoes behind us.
And we'll also see they'll learn their stride and straddle, and that can really help if they're in a search and rescue situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to see stuff moving in and out. The entire week is just a buzz with stuff moving in and out for all the different classes that kids are offered.
I had a list, but not in front of me. But I mean, canoeing and shooting and hunting and biology and fisheries, and it's just a little bit of everything happening this week. And it's great to be here and do it with the kids and let people know opportunities that they've got or the students have got to learn about what we do and maybe pursue a career in the future.
Yeah, when I walked in this morning, I couldn't help but, when the kids were coming into breakfast and saying good morning, I couldn't help but look at them and wonder if they were future biologists or wildlife officers coming to work for us. Someday we'll be long and retired, but.
Well, Brian, let's let you talk a little bit. What's going on in the fisheries world? I know you're going to be teaching some kids about different things in fisheries techniques, from fishing to maybe even biology side of things. So what's going on there?
Yeah, today's going to be my first opportunity to get to teach, and we're real excited about that. Myself and Brandon Ragland with our Region 3 Reservoir Fisheries team are going to come in and just kind of give an introductory class on the reservoir aspect of fisheries. We're kind of going to go into just basic agency structure and let them know that there are other avenues other than the wildlife officer when they're looking at potential careers with us. That there are many facets with the agency, and we've got a wide scope of responsibilities and duties, and it's going to be a great opportunity to get in and come in and teach these young minds.
I helped unload some really big, heavy nets too.
Yes, we've. Yesterday, our streams crew got to come in and teach the kids the fun stuff. They got to go out and electrofish. So today, Brandon and I are going to be able to teach them some of the more mundane things, such as setting nets. But we've actually got the nets that we use in our field work, and we're going to give the kids, I guess, an opportunity to actually learn how to set those. And we've got 3 different kinds of nets, and they all 3 serve a different purpose, and they're going to learn those today. What nets we use, what type, environment we use them in, what time of year, things like that.
So I don't know if we officially introduced your title. What's your role in the agency?
I'm a fisheries manager / biologist. It just kind of goes with whoever you're talking to. Sometimes one makes more sense than the other, but our duties and responsibilities are to maintain, enhance, to keep up the reservoir end of the fisheries program.
And how long you been with the agency?
I've been with the agency 15 years. I was an officer for 10 of those years, and moved over and loving life in fisheries.
Yeah. See, I mean, there's all kinds of different opportunities. And Mimi came to us from Ohio. She originally worked out there, and now she's our information and education coordinator for Region 3. And,
yeah, I love it.
And she's got a lot of experience and a lot of excitement for the agency, and I enjoy
do.
that.
It's so, I look at these kids and I remember myself at that age. I always tell people, my love of wildlife, it's written on my bones, it's deep in me, and I think, gosh, I wish this had been offered when I was a child, how much I would have relished the idea of learning, and I would have looked at you all like rock stars, and I still do.
Hey, you are a rock star. You're on TN WildCast.
That's right.
But you mentioned there's different avenues of way to work for the agency, and I had a question on Instagram the other day. I'd love to work for you guys, or I guess it was just a comment, but I was like, well, he said I only have a business degree, and I was like, well, there's other opportunities. Just contact us, look and see what's open, and you might have an opportunity to find a way in. But there's always other opportunities other than just a biologist or technicians are out there, and so it's a great place to work.
Yeah, when the kids come in, I think that's one of the really unique things about it. As a child, growing up I grew up way out in the sticks, and growing up in the country, I didn't know any occupation that dealt with animals other than a veterinarian. And as a child, I just wanted to be a vet. I just wanted to be close to animals, and that was the route. And this, as I grew and as I grew and turned into a young adult, I realized there were other occupations out there. But this really introduces, nearly 100 youth to the countless ways in which we're involved with wildlife as the agency, that I think sometimes the general public isn't aware of.
Right.
It's fun. I say I've been down in caves with bats. I've been out on the water with krill clerk and biologists. Out in the woods dragging deer in for hunters. looking at age structure in a deer's mouth. I mean, I really feel like I have the best seat in the house.
That's
Love
awesome.
it. Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you say we cut away and go see some of the action? I know there's a lot of
awesome.
stuff going on out there, and let you folks at home see what's happening at Toys this year.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's do it.
But nice and tight. You're just gonna lift up your arms and see that's not gonna go anywhere. That could probably be a little bit tighter, but that's how you want it.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
And break off into twos like you probably already have. We'll get you out on the canoes and we'll do some drills.
Mark, get set, go.
You see how clear my hand is? That's how clear that needs to be. Okay? This needs to be blurry, and your target needs to be blurry. Focus only on that tip of that front side, okay? That's what you need to focus on.
I think a shot to the right of it.
Take our powder measure,
Yeah, I see people doing that
set
all
on
the time.
50 grains.
People are going to put the patch over the bore, and we're going to center it. And then you take the ball, and you put it in the patch.
Here, start down here and just kind of work your way down. There you go.
Oh yeah. Wasn't bad, was it? Now it makes a lot of noise, a lot of smoke. Totally. You knocked the fire out of it. All right, let's go ahead and take it. Yeah, hit. Good.
We talked about Tennessee, how diverse this place is. You were an hour away from going and looking at elk.
We teach them all to do the same thing. They're going to do a wildlife detection in the field, in the woods, inside of a barn or a building, and vehicle searches.
During deer season, the gun season, muzzleloader in the gun, okay? Yeah, we're 500 square inches of blaze orange.
If that's what it is underneath it, these, if you want those, you can pick those out.
Why are these?
These are natives.
Just have to be patient with them and don't overcall to him. If he's going to come, he's going to keep coming. He's going to keep inching his way in. You might give him a little bit of a call every once in a while.
Okay, folks, man, that was some great stuff going on out there. I seen the kids were having a great time, and it's just amazing what all we have to offer here at Toys. And we just had Lacey Lane come in and sit in with us, and she's going to talk to us about a little bit behind how Toys got started, a little bit behind the scenes on Toys, and she's kind of leading the pack this year and making sure everything falls into place and doing a great job at it. And so, Lacey, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about Toys? How did it get started?
Absolutely. Officer Jeremy Odom actually started Toys a couple years ago. Well,
long time ago, actually.
About
now.
8 years now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, time flies, I guess, when you're having fun. But he started it in Clarksville, and it's been in Clarksville every year. And this is our first year to have it outside of Clarksville. And we moved it up here to
Your radio, they're calling for you.
I know, they're already calling for me. It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
We moved it up here to Crossville to try out something new and actually give the kids a more of an outdoor feel. And Region 3 and Region 4 guys from the agency has just really stepped to the plate this year. And this camp has just been amazing. You know, we came in on Sunday night, and the kids got here. Check-in actually started at 3, and by 11 o'clock, I had a line for them. They were ready to get to camp. So
awesome.
This year is just something different, and the kids are in bunk houses, and we get to have s'mores and build bonfires outside, and so it's a lot different than being in the motel. And we've had, you know, a couple kids say, you know, what happened to the motel? You know, we loved being there and having our own room. And I said, guys, you come to the Tennessee Outdoor Youth Summit. I said, why not get out and get to be outside and get to experience a youth camp that's outdoors? I said, a lot of states don't offer something, you know, like Tennessee does. And the agency has just really stepped up, and it's a great camp so far. And this is just day 2, but the kids are having a blast.
So you mentioned, you know, kids staying in the hotel. It was in Clarksville. They had to stay off-site, but here, you know, they got the bunk houses.
They can
it's
sleep
great.
in a little bit longer. We got a mess hall, which is absolutely so much fun, you know, because I say it's fun, but the kids have to clean up after themselves. They have to make their beds, and you know, it gives them a little bit of responsibility. And it's just a regular summer camp. When you think of summer camp, this is it.
Yeah. Do you show them how to tuck the sheets, make sure they get that fold just right?
Well, you know, they have guy counselors in there, so
Okay.
the guys, they're kind of lenient on that because they can't do it themselves. So,
But the ladies' beds are nice and
the girls'
tucked, right?
bunk room is a lot cleaner and it smells a lot better. So
you all start planning this. I know we had a meeting. It was still cold out.
yes, I mean it's a year-round thing. Jeremy worked on it from the time toys started to the time toys was over, and I mean it was just continuous all through the year. And I've just pretty much just kept doing that for the foundation on their side, because I mean I actually run the pistol and rifle program for the state, and so I just help out with toys. And you know, Officer Odom done everything for toys, so I just kind of stepped up for the foundation and just kind of done what I was supposed to do, I guess.
What time of year do the kids should people watch if their kids are excited about learning and having this experience? What time of year should they start watching for application?
We normally start around March and April of sending stuff out and putting stuff online, and then you know we start taking applications 2 months prior to toys, so we have time to make their schedules and let them pick their classes and everything. And we do it a lot different than what they used to do. They used to do an online system, but we take into account, we let them rank their own classes this year. And we actually pick the classes that we think's best suitable for the kids. So if they hadn't had a certification, we make sure we get them in that certification class first, because that's our top priority. You know, we want them to have their boater safety, we want them to have their hunter safety.
That's great.
And that's the main focus of our camp, is just to get them, you know, to where they will be able to hunt in the future and be able to boat in the future, regardless of where they're from or their background. So we really want these kids to have opportunity later down the road if they want to drive a boat. Hey, you've got your license, go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they actually are going out on boats. I know today they were going out on prescribed burns.
They did a control burn today at Bridgestone,
amazing.
so it was really awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's things that most people don't know we're involved with, but as a child, I think stepping into the agency and the many roles that they play, it just reveals so much about us. I love it.
Right. And, you know, I grew up in the shooting sports, which the agency had the background in. They started, you know, grew up through that sport, you know, went to college, got a wildlife fisheries degree, and it's just awesome to be here with people that I grew up with and be able to work with them and just continue teaching kids about the outdoors. It's just awesome to be able to grow up through it and just see it all the way through.
Yeah, we really appreciate everything you're doing. Not just for the kids, but for the agency. And this whole week just reflects the hard work that you all put into it.
We really appreciate it. I know the foundation, we have a small staff, but with the agency's help, we've really just had an awesome camp so far.
Mm-hmm.
We love it.
So we're in Region 3. We mentioned that, but have you seen a lot of folks coming from Region 4, kids from across the state? Is it better that it's more in Middle Tennessee?
We have kids from Memphis. We have kids from Bristol. We have kids from all over the state. So location's not an issue. Most of the kids, you know, are from Middle Tennessee just because they're familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you, we have the best group this year from all over the state, the more diverse group, more, you know, just hands-on, want to do stuff that's never done stuff before. It's a big deal.
And you may have mentioned this, but what's the age range?
If 8th grade going into high school,
Okay.
and then high school seniors that just graduated are here, so it's their last year to participate. And we have a couple kids that's been here since their 8th grade year that this is their last year to
They keep
attend
coming
toys.
back.
They've been here ever since 8th grade, so
fantastic.
it's really awesome to watch them grow up.
And let's highlight some of the classes. I know we've talked about, you know, the tracks and tracking classes and the fisheries classes, but we've seen canoes go behind us earlier.
Canoes, kayaks, stand-up paddle boarding. They have the long-range rifle. They're going to get to shoot up to like 1,000 yards or something like that. It's
Wow.
really neat.
That is pretty cool.
We've got more opportunity here because we have more on-site than we've ever had. So we've got new classes. We got scuba diving.
Did you see? You see the returning kids get excited about those new classes? Hopefully,
And you know, those classes that we added was their idea from last year. So I take
wow,
an
that's great.
evaluation at the end of the year. Hey guys, what classes did you like? What you didn't like? And then classes that you would like to see in the future. And I take that into perspective. And then this year I added what they wanted to do. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, once again, if somebody wants to sign up, say next year, what would they need to do?
They can get on the twrf.net website, or they can go to the TWRA website, which is tn.gov/wildlife or TWRA.
Yeah, TNWildlife.org is the best way to get to our website.
Yes,
Yep.
and they can go to the toys information, and if they want to call the foundation, my name's Lacey again, and then you can just dial my extension. I'll be glad to talk with you.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being with us, and
Absolutely.
thanks
Thanks
for
for
all the hard
coming.
work.
Yeah.
You're
We've
doing-
still got a long way to go this week.
You got this. You got it.
Hey, there's it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. As long as the kids behave and everybody stays in good standing, we'll have a good time. all
That's right.
I see you've been laying down the law, haven't you?
I have to be stern with them. I might be little, but I can control them.
All right. Well, thanks, Lacey, and thanks, Mimi, for being on. Thanks, Brian, for being on our first segment, and it's been great to be out of the studio. We missed Doug today, but Mimi did a great job stepping in and
Thanks.
helping out. And
Always fun to be here.
Just keep watching. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. You can watch this show on YouTube. Come to our website, tnwildlife.org. We're everywhere, and we're out there all the time. So just trying to get the information out and keep the Tennessee outdoor sportsman, wildlife watcher, and all the above informed. So that's what we're trying to do. But keep coming back, and thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
All right. See y'all.